A very warm welcome to all of you who are watching the first episode of Zen Talks. My name is Sakina Barmal, founder and chief facilitator at Urban Zen. Now, I'm a big fan of the author Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi, who wrote this book, Flow. He said that people find genuine satisfaction when they're absorbed in any activity that uses their creative abilities, and this is called flow. Now, this really stayed with me, and my purpose through Zen Talks is to enable moments of flow for our viewers. Now, we have got a very special guest today, Shikhar Kamat. Shikhar is a filmmaker turned illusionist from Mumbai. He's a driven performer, a storyteller, and he aims to entertain, inspire wonder, and to change the psychological constructs of his audience. Now, he's a four-time TEDx speaker. He's even performed for the Canadian PM Justin Trudeau. What?
Would you believe me, Vedika, if I told you that I have a third eye?
And so I chose to spend my time doing things that I love.
Tell the difference right now, but oh my god, stop it.
I am so privileged to have Shikhar on this show. So welcome, Shikhar. Please come on board.
What's up? How are you doing, Sakina?
Hey, hi, Shikhar. So happy to see you. And thank you so much for being here on Zen Talks. Shikhar, I
Thank you so
heard
much.
you were a filmmaker before you became a full-time illusionist. So tell us, what led to this journey?
Uh, I mean, a lot. I don't know where to. I don't know where to start because honestly, a lot of things went into it. But I guess the way that I can sum it up is since I was a kid, I was always into. Creative things. So I grew up around a lot of films and movies because my dad was in advertising. So growing up, I always was a filmmaker. That was my dream. And when I was in school and college, I did pursue a lot of theater and performance art of all sorts. So I studied design in college and specialized in film. And after that, for a year or two, I made a living making corporate videos and business videos and editing, shooting, that sort of stuff. And at that point, I kind of got bored with the whole corporate filmmaking side of it, and I realized that I actually wanted to be a performer. So that was the time that I started spending more time at home and sort of reevaluating what I wanted to do and sort of reflecting. And that's how I sort of switched to magic. That actually it was very interesting. It was very counterintuitive because
Mm-hmm.
that was a time where this was just my first job after college. And after working with them for a few months as a filmmaker, they offered me a full-time job, and they offered to put me and send me to Bangalore. And at that point is when I actually decided to quit and stay back in Bombay. So it was kind of counterintuitive, but now I'm
That's
glad that I did that.
amazing. Great. So, Shikhar, I mean, you had everything going for you. And at that point in time, you decided to pivot into a completely different career. Tell me,
Yeah.
what was the reaction of your parents when you broke it to them that, yeah, I want to pursue full-time magic?
Uh, I mean, initially it was kind of they were surprised to say the least. But then after that, they've always been super supportive. I mean, I honestly I could not have done this. I could not have pivoted to being a magician if I did not have the support of my family. So right after I quit my job, I was basically sitting at home, and I decided that I'll probably do my own freelance thing as a filmmaker, which I did for a while. Again, I got bored with that,
Mm-hmm.
and I was just spending a lot of time at home, just watching stuff, reading stuff, and I remember my mom getting pretty antsy around that time because she would come to me and she'd be like, "What is this? You're a 21, 22-year-old boy. At this age, you should be, going up and going out and going to office and coming back and that sort of stuff." So for her, that was the fun of this thing, working. You get up, you get out of your house, you go
Yeah.
to work and come back. So that was the time where I sort of revisited magic because I'd always been in awe of magic. I'd always watched a lot of magic since I was a child. Also, my dad was into advertising. So sometimes he would work on campaigns in which he would get free stuff with the products and he would get those free things home to show me. and they used to be magic
Hmm.
tricks or pranks, you know,
Wow.
very simple stuff like a thumb tape where get out the handkerchief, and or like a whoopee cushion, you put it under someone and makes fart noises.
That's
That's all.
amazing.
That sort of stuff. So I'd always been exposed to that, and yeah. So basically, I realized that I wanted to play Magic, and when I started actually revisiting it, I had so much fun, and that I realized I actually wanted to. It was a perfect culmination for me in terms of my want to do performance art, in terms of
Hmm.
theater, all this time I had spent doing that, all the time I had spent learning design and filmmaking and all that stuff, storytelling. It all sort of culminated together in this beautiful art form in terms of magic, where I could bring all of those things together. I could design, I could tell a story, I could perform, and I would get rewarded in terms of a reaction in that moment. So that really sort of made it all really beautiful for me. And I just started doing street magic because I needed a place to perform. So also my mom wanted me out of the house.
Yeah,
So
I was
I
just
would,
gonna say that.
yeah. So I would get out of the house. I would go do street magic. So because I was learning all these card tricks to begin with, right, and sleight of hand and all that sort of stuff, and I needed to do it to someone because there's only so much you can do in front of a mirror. So basically, I would go out in my area, do card tricks to random people on the street, like random strangers, and then turn around, go to someone else, and then basically all again. So that sort of helped me get rid of my initial sort of fear of approaching people and failing also.
Wow.
Basically, I had an audience, like a captive audience.
Yeah. So, I mean,
Yeah.
from what you just said, Shikhar, there are so many themes that really stand out, right? And you said that you brought together, different facets of your life, storytelling, whether it's creativity,
Mm.
the fact that you had to be confident to go up on stage and, really reach out to people. There's a lot that, as an individual, you learn from magic. Tell me maybe one exciting story or, an exciting thing that happened to you when you were performing.
Exciting story. There's been loads of times. I mean, I feel like every time I get to do magic for someone, or if I get every single time I get to perform for someone, it feels as exciting, as the next and as the last. But there's loads. I don't know which one to pick, but I don't know. So there was this one time I was doing. I remember I did this show. So initially, I used to do a lot of open mics, right? And there was this time that there was this one day that I did this entire show based on faith. Yeah. And I wouldn't want to go get into it too much. It was like a really elaborate show that I did at an open mic. It was just 15 minutes, but
Hmm.
I was trying out something. The floods had just happened at that time in Bombay, and after that, there had been a lot of people helping out each other, and that sort of really inspired me to create something on that. And I remember there's this one guy who was there at the show that day, who's a very famous poet now and storyteller. It was his third day in Bombay, and he loved that performance so much
Hmm.
that so that show basically ended with the idea of faith and believing and a Queen of Hearts. And from that day, after that day, after the show, he came up to me. He said, that really impacted me so much. I love what you said so much that I have a deck of cards in my bag. I'm going to remove the Queen of Hearts and I'm going to put it in my wallet. And anytime I feel there's a lack of faith, I'm going to open my wallet and I'm going to look at the card and I'm going to remember what you said. And that really made me feel really, really good as a performer. Um, what else can I tell you?
That's
Well, another time there
fantastic. Yeah.
this other time there was this I mean this would probably be more of a context, would give more of a context. So this one day I was doing street, this was back when I was doing street magic, right? And um, at some times I would this was before I had actually gotten up to start doing stuff on stage, in terms
Hmm.
of performances. So there's times that I would get out in the night because there is something about doing magic to random strangers in the night because they least expect it. And imagine you're walking on the street at night and this guy comes up to you and he performs magic for you, and I mean, I get the best reactions I found in the night when people least expect it. So
Wow.
uh, so yeah, so I would do that. I don't do that anymore. So this one day I was walking close to my house, close to my area, and there was this Sardarji who was having a very heated debate with his friend, and I approached them and I said, would you like to see something, some magic? And he was a little amused, but he said, okay, fine. And he was really angry, and he had been, doing, arguing about something. And I performed for him, and at the end of it, his brain was so reset. He was so amazed, and he took a moment and he said, I actually fought with my family, and I came down, and I was feeling very angry, and I
Mm-hmm.
was feeling very stressed out, and I was ranting to my friend, and this just made me feel so good. It feels like my brain is reset, and I feel like, all of that is behind me now. So thank you so much
Wow.
for what you did. And then he offered me a lift back home. So then he told me, yeah. So that
Yeah, that's crazy. So, I
so
mean,
that's
this
cool.
is
Yeah.
interesting, right? This is such a beautiful story, from the two anecdotes that you shared.
Yeah.
I always thought that magic was just nice, fun and games, entertainment, but there's so much more to it, is, something that I discover from our conversation. I've personally seen your show, Shikhar, and I've been in complete awe of what you do and
Thank you.
how you present your stories. So, Shikhar, now that I've been familiar with it, and so would our viewers want to be as well. Um, Tell me, I can't wait. I've always wanted to be a magician, but all I could ever disappear was my mother's Tupperware from the kitchen. So, it's all yours now. Tell us what you're going to do.
That's a dangerous one.
Yeah, I know. Hit me.
uh, yeah, vanishing your mother's Tupperware is the most dangerous and riskiest trick. Because
Yeah, it's like you're gonna.
yeah,
She's
regret
going to remind you
it.
about it like 10 years later as well.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. What was your question?
My question was, tell us what you're going to show us at this point in time.
Yes. So yeah, let's magic you. So this is a very interesting time to be alive in, Sakina, and I feel this is the best time in history to be a superhero, and the most easiest time to be a superhero, right? Because
Yeah.
all you need to be a superhero is to be staying at home and to socially distance. That's all you need to do. You can dress up into your best superhero costume, and all you need to do is stay at home, and that makes us a superhero. So that's the cool thing about this time. But I also feel that, since we're going through a pandemic, um it's like it feels like we've all sort of nearly missed something, and it feels, I personally feel even more alive during this time, and happy to be alive.
Yeah.
So it's almost like a new birthday for all of us. Wouldn't you agree?
I completely agree. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
feel
So
like Batman
uh,
already.
so the good thing about right now is that all of us, we figured out a solution. Yeah. um, so I'm sure you know what this is, right?
That's a Rubik's Cube.
Yeah, a Rubik's cube. It's, a puzzle that got very famous in the 80s.
Yeah.
I'm still playing with it. So I started actually playing with this when I was a kid, the Rubik's cube. And as I start growing older and older, I realize something. Yeah, this is not just a puzzle. This is actually a symbol of the human mind, right? Because
Wow.
you see,
Okay.
my mind more often than not tends to look a little something like this. Yeah, completely mixed up. And it's funny, but the whole world right now, the whole world, never before have I been united in this way, but the whole world is also feeling a little bit mixed up. Yeah.
Yes.
And it is a bit of a tricky situation, to be honest. um, but the cool thing is that all of us together, we came up with a great solution, a great way to work towards the solution together as a planet. Yeah.
Hmm.
And that was that, all of us, if we can, oops, I think I told it, but yeah, if we can all stay isolated, yeah,
Yeah.
and if we can all stay at home, yeah, I'll show it to you once more.
Uh-huh.
If we can all stay isolated, and if we can all stay at home,
Yes.
then maybe, just maybe, by the time we get out, everything will be
What?
completely solved.
No way. No way. No way.
So that's the best part about this, the way all of us are working towards the solution together.
Listen, Shikhar, I can't.
So hang on, I know that is too quick, so I'll do it for you. I'll do it for you one more time, right? Again, it's completely mixed, completely solved. I got to mix it up again. So you know what? So even though around the world there are competitions where people take part to figure out who can solve a Rubik's cube in the least amount of time possible. Yeah, and that sport is known as speed cubing. Yeah,
Okay.
and the world record for solving a Rubik's cube in the least amount of time possible is 4 seconds. Yeah, 4 seconds is the world record, the fastest that someone can get a Rubik's cube. So I'm gonna try. I've been playing around with this for a while now. I've had lots of time, alone time with myself. So I'm gonna try and break this world record for you right now. Okay.
Okay.
Again, completely mixed up cube. In fact, I'll mix it up a little bit more. Remember, 4 seconds is the world record.
Yep.
Yeah. Now I need you to count for me. Okay, whenever you're ready. Yeah. Completely
All right.
mixed up. Yeah.
Should I
I
start
want you
keeping
to
time?
I just want you to count
Mm-hmm.
seconds, okay? Like 1, 2, 3, just like that.
All
Okay.
right. Okay.
So
Tell me when do
tell
I
me when
go?
you. Okay. So I'm ready. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Now this is gonna also happen very, very fast. Okay. So even
Yes.
if you blink, you'll miss it. So don't blink.
All right. I'll start.
Yeah. Start.
1, 2, 3.
I think that was 3 seconds.
No. Okay.
We have it completely. So.
What is happening? What is happening? Listen.
So if I do this, whenever I do this, people tend to think that I'm cheating or that I have a helper or this is a trick cube. I assure you, it's not a trick cube.
This is a damn live video, guys. None of this is edited. None of this.
Yeah. So people think that I have a secret helper. Actually, I do have a secret helper. It's a very tiny magician. Okay.
Okay.
And he sort of lives right here inside my jacket. So take a look at this, completely mixed up. Yeah. And sort of goes right here. And the magician, the tiny magician that I told you about.
Right? Oh, God, no. Can you please tell the tiny magician to get rid of COVID, please?
Definitely. I'm writing a message as we speak.
Thank you, Santa.
Yeah. So you know what? I know that was a little too fast, so I'm going to try and do this for you super slow, okay, this time. Super slow motion. Do you want to see this in super slow motion, Sakina?
Yeah.
Yeah? All right. So one more time, just going to mix it up. Again, completely mixed up. Yeah?
Yeah.
So the thing is, Sakina, when I sit and think about, when I sit and write or when I sit and create something, I think about all of my problems. And usually, are you ready for slow motion, by the way?
Slow motion is great.
Super slow motion.
Super slow
So here we
motion.
go. Super slow motion starting now.
I'm not going to blink.
So don't adjust your camera. I'm just pretending like the screen is frozen because it's super slow motion. Okay. No more jokes. I'm actually gonna do this in super.
Yeah, I've really tried not to blink at all.
Okay, like I was saying, that when I have problems, the solution to my problems, they usually come from the back of my mind. All the solution to my problems, they usually come from the back of my mind. So there we have it. That's a little thing about the Rubik's Cube.
What is this? Shikhar, this is insane. I'm just going to give you a big round of applause from here, and
Thank
I'm sure
you.
our viewers are
Thank
doing
you.
that as well.
Thank you. So I was talking to you about, we were talking about how this whole thing feels like a birthday, right?
Yeah.
So that was a little bit of, I told you about a tiny magician as well. So I know that I'm the magician here, but in fact, I hired another magician to perform for you. Would you like to meet him?
Of course, yes.
All right, so he lives inside a box, sort of like how all of us live inside a box. And just for a while, we're going to let him out. Okay. So this is the box he lives in.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And like I said, I went to design school, right? So what I did was I drew something on the back of these cards. And remember, I told you about the tiny magician, right?
Yeah. Oh, that's hi, tiny magician.
So here he is. I, in fact, drew one of these on the back of every single one.
Wow, that's consistent.
Yeah, thank you. So the idea is that he's a tiny magician. He knows only one trick. Okay, that's the only thing. He just knows one trick. Before he starts, I want to show you a trailer of what he's about to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you want to see the trailer?
Yes,
All right. Check this out. So can you see that?
I can see that.
Here's a tiny magician. He takes off his hat.
Oh my God.
He puts his hand inside the hat and he removes what looks like a bunny rabbit.
Yes.
But we'll find out in a bit, because what's a show without a little bit of suspense, right? So for now, I'm sending him back into the box. He's going into lockdown, but I promise you he'll be back very soon.
Okay.
And I'm going to hold him right here. So here's the idea. Okay, now this is sort of like a small gift for you, like the birthday gift that I spoke about earlier.
Yeah, thank you.
For you and for everybody else who's watching. But you're going to help me create a perfect birthday present for you, Sakina. Yeah.
All right.
So it's going to be symbolized through a playing card. Yeah. So let's start. If you have a red card and a black card, which color would you choose, red or black?
Red.
Red. Lovely. The colorful one as opposed to the dark one. Red has two suits, hearts and diamonds. Which one would you care for?
Hearts.
Hearts. Okay. So we've got red hearts. Hearts has 13 cards. It has number cards and pictures. Would you want numbers or pictures?
Numbers.
Numbers. Now numbers are 1 to 10. So I'd like you to pick any number from 1 to 10, which you like the most.
Should I tell you?
Yeah, you can email it to me, but this will be faster.
Okay. 4.
4. So in a way, you just created a single playing card from the color right down to the picture, the 4 of hearts.
Yes.
Right. Also, can you confirm that we haven't set this up? I haven't told you to say this or anything like that.
I swear to God, I have never seen this before, and this is unedited.
Okay. All right. So in fact, you had no idea that that I was going to ask you to do this, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you just created the 4 of hearts, and in a way, that would be the perfect gift for you. I think now's the time to call our tiny magician back. Yeah. So like I promised you, he would be back, and he's coming back right about now. Now, I just want to show you, it's a completely new deck in completely new deck order. And I'm going to pull out the card that you picked. And you asked for the 4 of hearts. Here we have the hearts. And that's the card that you picked, the 4 of hearts. Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm just going to keep this 4 of hearts in my...
Perfect.
Yeah. And are you ready for the show?
Yes.
All right. So here we go. So here's the magician. He knows only one trick, by the way. So watch out. He takes off his hat. He puts his hand inside the hat. And he removes what looks like a bunny rabbit.
Yeah.
No, it's not a bunny rabbit.
What?
It's a card. And he takes the card and he turns it around. And that card
No!
is the 4 of hearts.
Wait, no way. Oh my God. Oh my God. That is crazy. That is crazy. Wow. You had me at the edge of my chair. I was just...
Before I go on any further, I have one last thing to show you, Sakina.
Please.
So So that was like a birthday gift for you and everyone else who was watching, right? Do you know what happens when someone gives you a gift?
You say thank you.
You say thank you. That's true. And then you give in India, you give them a return gift,
Yeah,
right?
right.
Or you could just be like thanks and bye. But so I've been doing a lot of shows for people abroad, and they don't have the concept of a return gift. That's why I realized that while doing these virtual shows. But here's the thing. So now you have to give me a return gift, okay?
Okay.
So you're gonna create a return gift the same way we sort of created a present for you in the form of a playing card, yeah. And I'm just gonna keep my hand up like this through this. Uh, Here's what I'd like you to do. I'm gonna give you an invisible deck of cards,
Okay.
yeah, and I'd like you to. Here it is, yeah. Can you see it?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I can't because it's
Yeah,
invisible. But
it's invisible. Yeah, okay. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna send it to you through the camera, and I'd like you to grab onto it. Could you do that for me?
cool. I'll do that.
Okay, don't drop them. They're expensive.
Taking
All
it.
right. Yeah.
What?
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 How did you do this, Shikhar? Damn.
Well done. Well played. Well played. All right. You took the invisible deck and you turned it into a visible deck. Brilliant. Okay.
God,
But
you
I want
taught
you
me
to,
something without even teaching it to me. But
so yeah, here's what I want you to do. I want you to put that deck away. I want you to get back the invisible one. Okay.
all right.
For now. Yeah.
Okay.
And I'd like you to show it to me once.
The invisible deck.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Lovely. Okay. Can you open up the box? Can you open up the box? And I'd like you to know there are number cards and picture cards inside. Which one will you remove? Numbers or pictures?
I'll remove numbers.
Okay, so remove the numbers, okay, and throw them away. Yeah. Now you have, okay, so you have all the pictures remaining in the box right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Take out the pictures as well. And you have all the kings, all the queens, all the jacks. Yeah.
Okay.
And I'd like you to start dealing them down one by one and stop whenever you feel like it.
Done.
Great. Okay, great. So you stopped at one card. You can toss the rest away. Just hold on to the one that you have. Okay. And can you fold that into half and into quarters? Lovely. Lovely. Very elaborate. Okay. Now that is my return gift, Sakina. Okay. Can you toss it back to me through the camera?
Sure. Here you go. No, damn.
All right. So just gonna recap for you. I gave you an invisible deck of cards. Yeah. You tossed away all the numbers. You had all the pictures remaining. You kept dealing them down. You stopped at one card you liked
Yeah.
the most. You folded it into half and then into quarters, and then you tossed it back to me. And now I have it back right here as my return gift. There's only one problem, Sakina. Do you know what that problem is?
What's the problem?
The problem is that we don't know what card it is because you never mentioned it. You
Correct.
never
Yeah.
mentioned what card you tossed back to me as your return gift. So for the first time out loud, for everyone who's watching, can you tell us what is the card that you tossed back to me?
It's the diamond of Jack. What
Okay.
I can say.
The Jack of Diamonds.
Jack of
And
diamonds.
again, there's no way I could know this in advance, right?
Definitely not.
All right. Yet I have one piece of folded card right here in my hand. Yeah. You could have pretty much picked anything at all. Yet you chose to go with the Jack of Diamonds. And the one card that I have right here is the
What?
Jack of Diamonds.
What is that? Oh my God, no. I did not tell you. I did not tell you nothing. Oh my
Thank
God.
you.
Crazy.
All right. Thank you so much. That was my return gift. I'm going to
Thank
keep that
you.
safely with me.
Thank you
Yes.
so much.
Thank you.
Okay, I am mind blown officially. I don't think I can think anymore today. I know one thing for a fact that what you do is definitely very creative and challenging as well. But also it has its own set of rewards, right? So tell me, what is it? Like, let's say if I do magic and, I put in the same effort as you have, what is it that I could learn from this whole experience?
Uh, See, that brings me back to the reason why we do magic, and that's something we ask ourselves as magicians as well. Why do we do magic? And the beauty of this art form is that mostly, for the most part, magic is all about perception. And what magicians do is the way they create illusions, the way we create illusions. We don't have really superpowers of any sort. But what we do is we use the blind spots in our audience's minds and sort of use that and, you know, to manipulate and sort of create the illusions that we do. And it's all about perception at the end, right? And what's perception? Perception really is what we think is what is really going on in the world, whereas actually it is very different from what is actually going on in the world.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So
yeah,
that is what our perception is. Our perception is what we think we know to be true rather than what is actually true. And magic is all about using perception to do this. So magic basically uh, uh, shows us how we have all these blind spots. It shows us how there are holes in our perception, and how what we think to be true a lot of the times can actually be far from the truth. So for the most basic example that I could give you is something as simple as this pen cap.
that's pen cap.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And I could sort of hold it and just make it vanish.
Wow.
But maybe it never switch places in the first place. Yeah. And that was just a very simple trick. That was something very simple that I started with. But that really highlights the main sort of what magic teaches you. It That's the one thing that teaches you about perception. It tells you how to play with perception. The other thing that magic taught me is obviously the beauty of wonder, right? Because magic really takes us back to the place of pure childlike wonder in our minds.
Yeah.
When we were kids, we would think everything was magical. Like, I still find a plane flying in the sky super magical. As kids, we found balls that were bouncing on the ground, that magical. You know, so that is the beauty of magic. It takes us back to that place of pure childlike wonder. And it's a very interesting thing. Psychology has studied about this, about
Mm-hmm.
what happens in a person's mind when they are witness to something that is impossible, that they think is impossible. There are some very interesting things that happen in our mind. And
Yeah.
magic is just an art form to bring that sort of that chemical reaction about in someone's mind. But even without magic, we experience it every day. You could have experienced it. You could have experienced wonder when you thought that there was something that was impossible that you couldn't do, and then you managed to do it. You must have been overcome with a sense of wonder. And we experience it daily when we challenge our own beliefs, accomplish something that we thought was impossible, or when we view something that was impossible. So definitely. So these are the two things that I can tell you right off the bat: perception, wonder. Magic also teaches you to be your best self, to bring your best foot forward, to because when you have almost a superpower to amaze someone, you can
Yeah.
allow your best self to shine through.
That is amazing, Shikhar. As you rightly said, it's how, how do you really evaluate your own perception, childlike wonder, as you already said, and it just brings a spirit of creativity. I think, from what I see and what I've just experienced so far, it really tells me that, you can't look at an object with one perspective. There are multiple perspectives, to a particular fact or a situation. And, it at the end of it, it just breaks assumptions that we hold on to for our entire life. And I really didn't know that magic could teach you so much. And this is just fantastic work that you're doing, Shikhar. I'm
Thank you so
just
much.
very, very enthusiastic about, the fact that we're putting this together, from Urban Zen, doing a lot of workshops, doing a lot of events that can build, such deep takeaways for individuals and people. So, Shikhar,
Definitely.
this was fantastic. I really enjoyed this conversation that we have had. And thank you so much for making this your own and, providing this experience for all of us.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me, Sakina. I'm very excited to see uh, where this goes, and I'm very excited to be a part of this. Thanks
Thank
for having me
you.
on.
Thanks a lot, Shikhar. And thank you so much, everyone. Stay tuned. We're going to have more such sessions, through Zen Talks. And thank you all for being here as well.